in 4 ways. Over the hills we.
Hey, what's going on? Happy day after the holidays. Happy Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrated. For me and my family, we just, we enjoyed our Christmas day. I just want to wish you guys a happy holidays. How's the holidays for you, Ronnie?
It was great. A lot of family, a lot of eating. That's why I guess now everybody goes on that diet January 1st from all the eating from the holidays.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that. And speaking of the new year, we wanted to kind of talk to you guys about, an end of the year checklist because, we do see a lot of big things going on in the real estate market here in South Florida, especially where rates are right now and where rates are being projected. So we kind of put together a little end of the year checklist to get ready for your real estate journey in 2024, which is around the corner. So one of the things we were talking about that you guys need to be mindful of for 2024 is what? Getting your taxes ready for 2023. I know Ronnie knows firsthand because, in his world, they have to look at your taxes to make sure that you are in a position to get pre-qualified.
Yeah. And this comes up a lot, obviously, beginning of the year, whatnot, when trying to qualify a person. This affects most, say, small business owners, people that own their own business or a 1099. If you work for a company and you're a W-2 employee and you get a salary, doesn't affect you as much. But these are the people that, again, own their own business or a 1099. So when they file their taxes in 2023, they really need to let their accountant know that, hey, look, I'm looking to buy a home this year. Because as we all know, some good accountants out there has write-offs, and you tell the IRS you only make X amount of dollars. Good and bad about that is whatever, in theory, whatever you tell the IRS you make is what you're telling your mortgage company that you make. So that could potentially affect your qualification purposes. So go in the traditional, conventional route, FHA, VA, all that sort of stuff. The way you file your taxes could help or break type of, what you'll be qualified for on the mortgage side. So it's always end of the year, mindful. If you're looking to buy a home in 2024, let your accountant know that you're looking to do, and you can have a conversation with him.
Yep. And one thing I got to mention regarding that too is a lot of people are under the impression that if you're a small business owner or if you're not a typical, a W-2 employee, that there may not be any mortgage products out there that qualifies you to get pre-approved, and that's not the case. Ronnie knows firsthand. I know from my experience dealing with clients, there's a lot of mortgage products for non-W-2 employees, and especially in South Florida, we have a lot of small business owners. So great point, Ronnie.
And I just want to piggyback off that. I'm glad you brought that up. Because you're right, you're a small business, whatever it is, you may file your tax a certain way because it is. But there are other products out there that could help qualify small business owners to get them approved for a mortgage. Obviously, just the best case scenario would be looking at your tax returns. That's going to be the best for you for interest rate, for everything, ease around. But you're right, there are other options out there that may make more sense or better sense for other small businesses. So I'm glad you brought that up. So it's not the end of the world if your taxes don't look well.
Yep. And another thing to do to kind of get ready for the 2024 real estate season is to know your team. When we mean know your team, something we've been preaching, we're going to continue to preach, is making sure that you have the right people in your camp from starting off with your actual lender. Whether or not, if you have a lender, great, and if you don't, still fine. Biggest Ronnie can speak on this obviously, but biggest takeaway is being able to ask the right question to your lender to make sure that he or she has the best of your interest. One thing that stands out to me is experience, and to ask them, hey, how long have you been doing that? That's one question I normally tell my clients. Hey, you want to work with someone that's seasoned, someone that's been doing this for a while. What other things would you kind of, would you suggest people to ask their lender if they're vetting one, or if they have one on their team right now?
So a couple things I would ask is, one, depending on what you're looking to buy, right? So a lot of people have been buying, say, investment properties over the last X amount of years with real estate. So for instance, if you're looking to buy an investment property, make sure that lender knows or has a lot of maybe the right products for you that you can get that investment property for, the best situation for you. That's one, because not every, especially when it comes to investment, not every mortgage lender is going to have the right banks, tools to get you into that investment property the best way. And number two, which we always preach, is someone local. Because as we know here in South Florida,
Yes.
it is very different when it comes to, we'll say, the condo market, right? So a lot of lenders or a lot of people all get sent to me because they went with, we'll just call it like an online bank, just went online, punched in. They didn't know the insurance costs of how high potentially home insurance costs are here, or the down payment, what you would need to put on a down payment on certain condos. So not to get too deep into this, but just using someone local that really knows the area and knows the ins and outs of some of the programs, and maybe there's grants, maybe there's certain things that they may know about, which that person that's, say, not local may not know about. So using local.
I'm so glad you mentioned that. That's the reason we always mention to everyone that's listening. And once again, we appreciate you guys taking time out your day. It's, the fact we're local. We're in South Florida. I know Ronnie does have his license for New Jersey too, so he can cater to those who live in New Jersey. But for the most part, when it comes to the South Florida market, we are local guys. So speaking of insurance, I know you mentioned that too. That's another person that you want to have on your team when it comes to making sure you have someone to get you the right quotes, affordable quotes, because home insurance is a real thing here in South Florida, and you don't want to be caught off guard on the cost of insurance on your purchase of your home. So, biggest thing I usually tell my clients if you can, to work with an insurance broker. The beauty behind an insurance broker, he or she is able to kind of look at a number of insurance providers and see which one best fits your situation. So, and also going back to what I was mentioning before, this experience, and like Ronnie just mentioned, also is someone that's local. You want to make sure you're working with someone that's local, because you can easily Google insurance company, you get a quote from online, one of these. Go ahead, Ronnie.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and just one thing here, and but unique about, I shouldn't say unique, but one thing Florida is known for is kind of the brokerage state, right? For insurances, a lot of people that come from up north, say New York, New Jersey, maybe they're used to your State Farm, your Progressive, your big national companies, and they're not very big in this market, or some of them don't even write in this market, won't even give you a policy, and there's ones that do are not very competitive. So it is important to have that right insurance person, and a lot of these brokers will have, say, 10, 15, whatever many carriers that they can compare apples to apples, right?
Yeah.
And one thing that's very underutilized about the right insurance person is they know the company, because God forbid something were to happen, does this company pay out? Are you going to wait 6 months, a year, 2 years to get your claim? And that may play into a role of, hey, do I want the cheapest company, or would I rather pay $200 more a year to make sure to get another different insurance company that, God forbid something happens, they're going to be easier to deal with. So when you're talking to your insurance person, kind of know the carriers they have and see which ones they might suggest. It's not always about the cheapest.
Well said. Well said. Another important person that's going to be part of your team on your real estate journey is your home inspector. Your home inspector is basically the person in charge of inspecting your home and see and verifying the overall condition of the home and whether you want to move forward with the purchase of the home. And going back to what we mentioned before, is you want someone that's obviously local and someone that's seasoned, someone that knows, that's seen it all. That experience goes a long way, especially when it comes to your inspection. I normally suggest to my clients to make sure that person is able to provide you a copy of the report within, no more than 48 hours, especially electronically, and for them to be able to provide pictures and even recommendations or remedies to address any areas of concerns. And they can also recommend the right vendors to address that. That lets you know that, hey, not only are they able to do the correct inspection, but they also know the best way to remedy those issues that they noticed during their inspection during your home inspection. So,
yeah. And the only two things I'd add to that is just, for the home inspection, I would try to have either you could be there, because
yes,
the home inspection isn't a whole day process, but at least you can, when the inspector finds something, you can see it and understand what he's talking about versus in a report. So whether you or the realtor being there during the inspection helps. So, yeah.
Yeah, well said. And speaking of realtor, yeah, because you and another person that needs to be on your team is a realtor. Obviously, unless you're a realtor yourself. But in the state
Yeah.
of, well, I wouldn't say, but you need a realtor, someone to represent you, someone to make sure that has your best interest and that has a relationship with that's in communication with your lender, that's in communication with your insurance guy, that's in communication with your inspector, someone that's involved in every aspect and every part of the overall team that you put together. And also someone that's local and someone that's seasoned, someone that's been doing this a while. Because one thing about real estate, we go through our cycles, and especially in South Florida, and the way things are going and moving and what we're projecting in 2024, it's going to be pretty competitive. So you want to make sure that you have someone that's familiar with the market, someone that's a professional, someone that's seasoned, and someone that has your best interests, understands, hey, they work for you. Or in this case, my case, I work for you. So, you want to make sure they have your best interests.
Yeah. And I will say, just not all realtors are created equal. So you definitely want to do your due diligence on picking that right realtor.
Well said. Well said. So yeah, basically these are the checklist items to get ready for your 2024 journey. Another thing you can add to that checklist is to book a one-on-one session with me and Ronnie, so we can go over your checklist with you to make sure you have everything you need to go for 2024. As always, we appreciate you guys taking time out your day. Getting ready for the end of the year, and until next time.
All right. Take care, everybody. Leave comments below if you have any questions.
Beautiful, beautiful. Any questions?